Welcome to another season of Celebrate Sausage. Eric invited me to join in on this year, and I just had to do it. I'm Russ Jones from the YouTube channel Smoky Ribs Barbecue, and today I'm going to show you how I do alligator sausage, and we're going to start right here. This is 2 pounds of alligator meat that I've got cubed up small enough to go into my grinder, and here I've got pork. You can use pork butt. This is actually pork brisket, believe it or not. And I also have 1/2 pound of pork back fat. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my grinder on, and I'm gonna start off with a cube of this fat. That'll help lubricate your blade and your die there. Go in with some pork, alligator. We're gonna grind this twice to make sure we get a good blend and mix on it. But I'm gonna do this initial grind. This is still partially frozen. I've got a jacket here, which is also keeping it cold. Excuse the mess, I make a big mess anytime I do anything. But what I've done is I've taken 1/4 cup of onion that I cut up earlier, and it doesn't have to be real fine because we're gonna run this through the grinder. 1/4 cup of bell pepper, 1/4 cup of chopped green onion, 1/4 cup parsley, 2 tablespoons of sage, 1/4 cup minced garlic, 1/4 cup chopped celery. I just added 1.5% salt and 0.5% of pepper. And that's 1.5% of the total weight of the sausage, which is right at 5 pounds. Now I've got 1 full level teaspoon of Instacure. So that is a cure. That's the Instacure from the Sausage Maker Company. You've got to have that if you're going to do like a cold smoke, and that's what I'm doing with this sausage. Now, if you're making this as a fresh sausage to grill up later, then you don't need that. It's got to be done at higher temperatures. But I'm going low and smoke it for a long period of time, so we've got to add that. Now I've got a sodium erythorbate. That is a cure accelerator. What that allows me to do is once I get this made and stuffed, I can go right out to the smoker. It accelerates the cure that I just added. Now, if you don't want to use that, all you have to do is put it in your refrigerator overnight and give the cure time to work. So 1/2 of a teaspoon, level teaspoon, going in. So I'm gonna take and add this before I actually do my second grind. Let's get all that out of there. And I'm just gonna give it a mix by hand to start with, just to kind of incorporate it. And that's already starting to smell fantastic. Now it looks like it's got a lot of fat in this, but what you're seeing a lot of is the actual alligator meat. It's white. Not as white as the fat, but it still kind of resembles fat, but it's not. Now if you wanted to add like a Cajun seasoning to this, you could also do that. All right, so that's all the mixing I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and get our grinder stuffed. And by the way, I've got the 8mm plate in here now for a finer grind. Now I'm not one to push this through my grinder. I just let it go through naturally on its own. I don't like forcing it. You'll get a better result if you don't force it. And if it's really cold, you get a better grind. Your fat doesn't smear. As you can see, these vegetables are being ground up to where all you see is the particles of them. You're not going to really feel the texture of each vegetable, but you will get the flavor. Now, a lot of times I use a non-fat milk powder, such as this one. This also comes from the Sausage Maker, and I've already calculated what I needed. I need 90 grams for this amount of sausage. Now I've got 1/8 cup of a Louisiana hot sauce. Now you can use water, I'm using beer, and I got 1 cup going in. I'm just gonna hold with that. Like I said, you can use water too, but we're gonna start with that. 10% water, beer, whatever you want to use is typically what you would use, but I kind of play that part by ear. Now we just want to give all this a really good mix, and we want to build up some protein extraction, and we're also combining everything that you've seen even better. All the salt, pepper, everything is getting totally combined along with this non-fat milk powder. All right, so I think we got it looking like I want it here. I'm just gonna take a little bit. You can see the protein extraction, how it's hanging together right there. Sticks to the bottom of your hand. That's what you're looking for right there. That'll hang there all day long. All right, so it's time to stuff. I'm using 11-pound stuffer right here to my right. So there's gonna be no problem. This is only roughly 5 pounds of sausage. Gonna go ahead and stuff this in here. And boy, it's got a nice protein extraction on it. It is very sticky. All right, I got my casing in place. This is just a 32mm hog casing, and I've got a knot tied in the end. I always like to take and prick a few holes right here at the end. That's just to let any air escape as we push this sausage through. And here we go. All right, gonna toss another knot right here in this end. Just a single simple knot, that's all you gotta do. So the way I case mine is I'll start, and I don't usually measure these. You could have you some marks here, like if you wanted 7, 8-inch sausages. I usually just guess at it, but I'll start me a place here and I'll pinch in, then right here I'll pinch in. Get it good and pinched in, then rotate that away from you. Then you're gonna skip this next one. And you go do the same thing, pinch in, and you just work it all the way down till you get to the end. One more here and we'll just have a little short one right there at the end. Like I said, you can get more exact with it. That's totally up to you, but this is good enough for all practical purposes. All right, before we hit the smoker, the last thing I need to do is take a sausage pricker, and I'm just gonna go through here, and all this as far is if there's any air bubbles in here, that's going to remove them. I got my PK100 dialed in to 120 degrees. That's what I decided to go with. Let me show you the sausage. I've only got the upper latch, but I've got it hung in there just like you see there. And I'm just gonna let this dry out for 1 hour. At 1 hour, we're gonna bring the temperature up to about 130 degrees and add smoke at that point. Been rolling 1 hour in the dry mode. Let's go ahead and add some sawdust. Now this sawdust has been completely moistened. You always wanna moisten your sawdust. Can't go on dry. Slide that onto the burner. Now I'm gonna come back and add some water to this momentarily. Just add some humidity to where we don't get case hardening. All right, we're gonna bring this up to 135. Set. That's our actual temperature. Now it will cycle in and out at 135 degrees. It's probably a little smoky out here. That's because I have another pit right beside this, and I actually got a brisket going on, a pellet grill, so there's a lot of smoke in the air right now. But I want to show you this sausage and explain to you what I've done. I took it from the drying stage, which is 120 degrees. I went up to about 135 for about an hour, hour and a half. And then from there, I ramped it up to 150. And that's when it really started smoking good. And it smoked for around 3 hours. So I want to take a look at it and see if I need to add more water, or maybe I won't. I'll decide that here in a moment, and see if I need to ramp the heat on up and go from here. Oh yeah, we're starting to get a color on it. And I think I'm not going about the water pan. There's still a little bit in there, so we don't want to let all the heat out. Let's go ahead and close this back. So for the most part, most of the smoke is gone. It's still smoking a little bit. So at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ramp the heat up to about 160, 165. We're gonna hold it there for about an hour. And then at that point, I'm gonna take it to about 175, and we're gonna leave it at 175 until I hit an internal temperature of 160 degrees. I'll bring you back then and show you the final result. We have finally hit our target temp of 160 degrees. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up. We're gonna get this sausage out of here. We're going to take the probe out first. From here, we're going into some ice water. Just to cool this off, we're gonna shock it, stop the cooking process. And that's some really good looking sausage, I'll tell you that, and it smells really good. I think we got a nice smoke on that. turn our power off. All right, I'm just gonna leave this in here maybe 5-10 minutes, then we're gonna try a piece. All right, so I'm gonna cut this little piece here off on the very end because you don't really want to bite into that little knuckle right there where we tied the knot. Let's cut us a little slice. Well, it certainly looks good. Got good moisture in that. Mmm. It's got a really great flavor. You want to try it, Mike? Yeah, man, give it a try. See what you think.
Man, it's got a good texture to it.
Yeah, nice color. You can definitely taste the fresh herbs in it.
That's good. You can taste everything, the Trinity and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's different, but it's really good.
It's even got a little bit of a kick on the back end.
We'll definitely make it again for sure. I think in the future I would probably add a little bit of Cajun seasoning in there as well, you know, but it's pretty good.
Nah, I give it a thumbs up.
Appreciate it, man.
Good job, you killed that one.
All right. And by the way, Mike, this is Mike Bowman. He has a YouTube channel. Tell him about your channel.
Man, I'm a fairly new YouTube channel. It's Triple B's Barbecue. That's beards, bikes, and barbecue, baby.
There you go.
We do everything beards, bikes, and barbecue.
And he's got a nice looking Harley.
But this man right here, I've been watching him for a while, and he's definitely an inspiration to my channel.
Appreciate it. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm Russ Jones with Smoky Ribs Barbecue.